Good morning and welcome to another edition of Two Talk Morning Show on Two Talk Radio 98.5 FM and our Facebook page Two Talk FM. You also the watch we na YouTube this morning. Well, today inside the program we want to talk about waiting civil society and government they do for make sure they create employment opportunities for young people. And then make we get somebody from the National Youth Commission and also person from civil society for can help me for talk this. Not gonna waste stay with you. Yourself can send your comment on our Facebook page to Talk FM. Make sure say you send your comments on the thing that we discussed by us this morning. Me now Ishmael side you can really bring the program. Now we'll go for the short break. Who can engage with us then. And our Facebook page to Talk FM. Me and Ishmael side you can also tell now to the one to talk about employment opportunities within CSU we do the role in the free for Landy as well as government. Well on the studios I get with me the Commissioner National Youth Commission Ahmed Atata Mansari ESK. Good morning, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
So the last day we me and Atata don't you know remember but I think I work for River Broadcast that's in the you know we go and commission it, but of course we need to meet sector and we do a very good job. I've been getting someone saying any since I've been having since that much I've been doing at the commission. So for maintaining the 6 years ago.
1990.
Yes, exactly. So how have you been?
Good. Yes. Then we'll not be able because then at the ministry we had the field manager for one of them, the library schools project and also at the who was head of media and communications for the ministry. And at that time we consolidated the rules. So that's we looked at a kind of sector report. Somebody from the ministry who talked about what happened on the commission, and somebody at the commission who talked about the Ministry of National Youth Service. So at that time, we had the as head of media and communications.
And I'll be able to see for congratulate you. Congratulations. Alright, so also there with me at the studios, Brian Assisi. We are the country lead manager for budgets and foundation selling. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, viewers. As you mentioned, yeah,
budget selling.
budgets review.
Alright, we can talk more about waiting on the do. But I want to start with the commissioner. Atata, you don't take over 1 year now in the National Youth Commission. First of all, how you appointment, how you been taken and the way the president, of course, pick you as the person for lead the commission?
Yeah, well, when that happens, presidential appointments, not something where you somebody who got for writing there to the president for acknowledge whether you want it or not. And nobody will a well-meaning citizen they go tell us say they don't do an appointment of that kind of nature. We will easily just turn it down. Even though by the end that when I did in the ministry, I was full-blown practitioner of the law. And where the commission worked because of the kind of mandates I get, where I slow down the practice, even though I can go once in a while. But it was well received, and I will send a thank message to His Excellency that he acknowledged. And I mean, from that, we don't take off. And we have quite a lot of other interventions we don't make. I will on waiting and making pretty settled on the room, that's a lot to look at. Because since the establishment of the commission, the third commissioner, we've had Mr. Anthony Nkrumah, who's served for over 10 years, and Mr. Thomas Golokata came on serve for 5 years, few months, and I've taken over from where they have stopped, and we still were not able to maintain some of the international organizations where we don't make support and we support to young people. We spent considerable time go back to the one way without probably stop support to the commission. And we're not able to forget to virtually everybody on board, the new players also given the fact say government gets a whole thematic area in the 5 districts we're going to talk about a youth empowerment scheme. So that is a more reason we get multifold approaches ranging from what the commission is doing, the ministry is doing, the youth service, and what entirely other organizations are doing. Because from where we come with the youth policy, where you are aware of, where perhaps another review will be 2025, because that's also 2020-2025. We try to look at it to be like a blueprint for all of you, and serve like a testament for the young persons, the interventions that will get a scattered work, because that's the problem over the years we're going to get at the sector. Where one institution, let's say I have capacitated 5,000 young people, 10,000, the figures have not been flying. But then we're not being able to have a statistics that is tangible, in the sense that if you don't say you don't impact 10,000 young people, these young people for them will be capacitated, they will be empowered to some point that they're not going to again for the crave for other things. So that with the conversations and what we do with the partners. And I think from that period, looking at the effort being applied by the minister and the target being given, remember that President Bio in his second term has not had ministers for people used to think for 5 years. This way that appointed to Nanga for the day throughout. Now it is yearly basis, performance contract. This December they go to review, and everybody is now on tenterhooks. Whether you've passed that, and we as a commission and we as a youth sector, the minister also try to get subcontracted to we and tell we say these are the interventions you guys have to make in order for us to fulfill what exactly is the contract between myself and the president through the office of the chief minister. Okay,
so what do you meet and are you able for bill on that going for the past 1 year waiting on the
yes, I meet the commission running, and Mr. Kata has been in this space for quite some time. We don't do from the days where the CCYA and then work as commissioner, and like I say, I met some of the donor partners and still there with me, and especially with principal, the partner with the UNDP, and then we try to call on the attention of the UNFPA, given the fact that we need to know statistics inside the drugs intake on the part of young people, substance abuse, and when all of these things are being done, there's every likelihood for they will engage into sexual activities. And that in itself also, they don't get any severe impact on the lives of young people in Sierra Leone. So what it could be the role of the UNFPA was one of cardinal conversation we get, and that we don't come in and we don't try to bring in the SRH component and sexually productive health component of it, and then with brothers and sisters, where they take push, you know, say when they don't take their push and they actually don't know. Now you've heard about 225, you've heard about Flex, you've heard about Molly, Ecstasy, and all the rest of it. When they take these things, the urge where they can get it quite different. So the campaign now is one, how do we address some of these issues? The one where they now where they don't become so addictive in this kind of the kind of things they are going to do intervention. So that we don't even forget international partners that will come on board. couple of months ago, if you follow the activities, we try for come as far as grass feeder Pusa will get hundreds of them. You know, someday we don't cut off from society, we not even come up because of the kind of wounds that we then get dependent and man so much bad off. So bring in institutions and we then we provide medics so that not only to do profiling on them, follow we place them into the vocational areas then we the one for do. It's shocking to know to also note say you get others who they will tell you saying I be the university or I'm a university graduate. But then the stories are very different from individuals. You get a whole lot of headache for apples and other things and they so that we don't able to do everyone the way they want for them they're able to do something for themselves. We don't place them. We go to the AFTEC, the Armed Forces Technical Education Center. Quite a lot of them are there from which we they pay for them. For when they go through that we are making some serious progress in that direction. You go to the Western Rural, the one where we also able to do profiling on about 300 plus more out of the menu because one thing you have to look at this intervention of young people is that do we have ready young people, do we have willing young people? Because in the morning you go try to put aside for make you go for go through this particular training. When they don't tell you say the one for don't clean side tell you say hey commissioner I said the man not come man not be get pee. So they're still expecting that even as government they say when they say what am I back up or come back. If you think society has shown you, society has given you a treatment where you not like because we just think what happens in Europe and America should be replicated. We can also fail for realizing the economies are not the same and the histories are not the same. In my conversation with UNITC last week when they come for engage me for that facility we're gonna for Obasanjo skills training, it's one of the institutions where we don't really play so much role to the young people in that particular area. And that is one institution entirely where you do not buy forms. You know, it is free. You just go and pick up and you tell us what you want to study. We are doing very courses, you know, and I mean, we have to beg them to do it. So they tell you back again saying, me, if you're not allowed to do they want today for today. You have to give them money, you know. So a lot of interventions we are making in that respect. Even this one, we don't see, me and you don't see necessarily. We say we can see on a network, they pass, they see a whole lot of solar lights. When where are they? You know, just feel part of the sea. You see along the beaches, the batteries are pull out, moving up to hill station before by Orange, IMAT area, and we don't see some of them problems there. So we don't see because of the lack of capacity on the part of young people. At that center, we are training them in renewable energy, and that we have been able to do. And we have a very wonderful young people at the center. In fact, some of these contractors that they take. Commercial sex workers and others also like Kabi, they say the support program from UNDP and other partners. Last year, if you follow up in this year, the Armed Forces Day, we released about hundreds of young guys with the land building and construction, where they are in the trade for it because they don't like when I talk about the facilities they have. But I must tell you that the military is one of the most what do I say, sophisticated vocational facility in Sierra Leone. If you are a journalist, you cannot prove me right. Go to Wilberforce, ask them who say after claim, go to their places, look at the caliber of their tutors, these military guys, look at the kind of things they are. It is open to the public, but people don't go there because they don't know about them. Go to Juba. Go to Juba, where they pass Juba, we could just pass or go law or go Godrich. Enter on the right, go and ask for the military industrial zone. When you get to that place, there you see that these people mean seriousness. So that is the reason when we get the SDF fund, that's Skill Development Fund, we work back camp. They also benefited from that particular fund. And if you go to that place, there's always places inside, you can see more than 500 to 600 machinery. For so close, yes. They show their uniform.
So they get capacity.
They get capacity. They don't only get machinery capacity, equipment capacity. They even get the tutors capacity. So we don't try for a tap on that for let them leverage some of the concerns they will get. They teach you light vehicle maintenance and heavy duty vehicles, and it is there. When you go, the facilities are there. Not just something where they talk. I mean, from rocket science. Go there, you see they get side for even making of their shoes. Them they get side. They make television, woodwork. So we don't approach them. There's an MOU between them and the commission, and I must state that kudos to them for the support they have been giving. We don't pay the normal rate people that can pay for go to them because of it's government into government, and then that has been very, very much good, and that is one area we are really tapping into.
All right. You mentioned about the coach earlier. Now, how are they able for make sure to get them on board? Because not only for go talk to them, but get somebody also we don't into that in the we will be like ambassador. We want to be used to talk to the other people.
Yes, we have them. We have many of them. As at last week on the African Youth Day celebration, when I was November 1, I will share a platform with one of them, and we've had some very good testimonies, from quite a lot of them. We were not able to use that as a means of moving. Most often the places who can go, they engage in others. Then nobody can tell your story better than you yourself. So we don't tell them from the ones at Black Street. You come down to my brothers along under the bridge, as we should know, as we near you today, I seated there. You go to Jigibonta, probably take you to just buy ice cream and leave. Jigibonta is a hanging place. On that day, it's a very big platform. They are there. They do not come out during the day. They come out at night. To them, society has failed them, but I always tell them that they themselves have failed themselves. I tell them my story. You've heard the story of even our minister. These are not stories we are telling because we are in positions today. I came to Freetown, I had no address. My address was from the college. Me uncle for Kale to say for another 5 hours, I'm not going to accommodate me in Freetown. So that is a very, we have quite a lot of things. If we not being so many other persons, we are like hanging with people, 7, 8 of us in rooms, But if you think because of you don't count your uncle in a garage, so to hear your uncle or your uncle in wealth don't get issue, that is going to lead you. Some of the stories for me, I am not saying the stories they are saying are not convincing, but I'm not impressed because some of the factors that they can give themselves. For some like this make I indulge in kush. For me, I take them to be lame excuses. We agree that we have a very bad history because we got it wrong from the period we had 11 years civil war, and many people died. And these people, those ones who were 3, 4, 5, are these young people today we are talking about. Those ones where the family they're not able to take care of, just like for example, you born people, when it's the child is normal, you take care of that child, education and all the rest of it. When you give birth to one that is physically challenged or having some mental impairments, you left on the streets. What is the difference between that child and this one that is normal? Take care of them all and give them the same opportunities, and at the end of it, that person will become a good citizen in the republic. Then, if that they happen, if you don't see say because of my heart to don't go get belly, it's a way of driving higher. Why can't you give my heart to a second child? Because some of these things, and then we look at them, the one that all they make interventions to. Most of the stories are around that. As a born son, uncle and auntie drive me. The next line is what? Either prostitution or hanging out with friends or doing things that really does not befit you and your family. So any kind of things and they. So we have allowed them to be talking to their colleagues, those ones who redefine themselves. And that we have some very wonderful success stories. So if we as the conversations they go along, as time goes on, someday we'll also get on a platform of bringing them together. Then we'll go like and talk to them and see where they have changed. And many what would they train? We also, because one thing, things have really shifted inside you. Before this time, when you're working with INGOs, when you begin to ask about budgetary allocations to things, some will just give you to you. But now what they do here is that you sit to them and then they plan and you tell them what to be their areas of intervention. There are those who will tell you, okay, if you train for us 250 young people in X, Y, or Z vocations who are ready to give them startup kits. And then you do joint monitoring with them after every 3 months for no save, they don't give Ali this particular thing. What has changed in that person's life? And this has been the same thing holistically. Like I was with the German Corporation, GIZ in Kono, on the spot visits. I like find them letters based on the figures before me and all the rest of it. And I realized that they are working in 4 districts in the provinces. So one day I go Kono for go do something, I just still go do on the spot check. Those things I saw from young people in motorbike maintenance, those things I saw in young people in agribusiness, and because that is where exactly the thing has not changed. Perhaps, like you always know that the NGOs they push their agenda there based on what's in the government in priorities. So when you see them and then the few challenges they mentioned, and we engage the partners, there is every likelihood that as we move along some other areas, some interventions will take place. Even though what we have noticed is that one person can benefit from organization A, B, C, and D. So our point here is let there be a shift. If, for example, you have been given a business, they don't see startup kit of $5,000, which is common. UNDP, Ora Foundation, and others have given money.
Yeah.
They don't give money to somebody very close to 1 billion old years before me. Now, Brookfield Hotel, some 3-4 months back, about 36 young people. So like, but they have been on like several rigorous activities with these organizations. For say we say we'll meet you. Now be now how many? Now be 3, now be 4. After this support will give you. Now how many you don't get after 1 or 2 years? And what has changed? Some in soap making, some in this charcoal that they made a briquette, that stuff. Then some they made a peanuts, then shea butters and all the rest of it. And they have been able to do branding and package some of these things. And when you go to most of our hospitals, our shops now, they are there. And some are doing online advertisements.
All right. Well,
So
I will come back to you, Ahmed Atata Mansayo, and the Commissioner, National Youth Commission. You don't talk about within and they do how for help for cushion the youth's life in the country. Well, we have to go for the short break. We can engage with budgets guests in the program. Well, we talk now to Prima Sisi. We the manager or country lead for budgets, and we have on waiting budgets debates.
Thank you very much.
Okay, miss budget or budget?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, and good morning again, viewers and listeners. As you rightly say, when they say budget, you go fix in a budget.
Yes.
But it's an acronym. It stands for Budget and Information Technology.
Okay, budget inside the budget.
Budget inside exactly.
Okay.
So it's Budget and Information Technology.
Okay.
So what do we do? Okay, before I go to what do we do, when budgets come into being, budget starts in Sierra Leone in 2020. It's an international organization with the headquarters in Nigeria. But for now, they have 4 West African countries: the Sierra Leone, the Liberia, the Ghana, the Senegal, the US. So from where we start operations, budget key area is what we call budget accessibility. Citizens to access the national budget. So we just simplify the national budget and do engagements with the national budget. And we also advocate for transparency and accountability in the implementation of the national budget.
Okay, so far so good. Since when I begin now, which one I don't do?
Plenty.
Okay.
As I say, we don't simplify the national budget. The national budget is a bulky document. It's the second most important document that any country. You will guess the first important document is the Constitution. After the Constitution, the second most important public document is the national budget. But the difference between the national budget and the Constitution, the national budget is every year. Because the budget, now they tell government how government will raise money and how government will spend the money. You understand? So, and before government raise money and spend now, you go for plan. And that plan will be put in place on how government will raise and spend money in the budget. So that budget, they is bulky. How people don't understand the budget? So we come in and simplify them. We make them small. We put them into booklets and we put them into infographics. that is the technology kind side. Infographic means they put her into pictures so that you will understand what is doing the national budget at a glance. Then from there, we dey do engagement for ensure say implementation of the budget is transparent, because the national budget making process get 4 stages. You get the planning, you get the enactment, you get the implementation, and you get the audit and oversight. You understand? So what we care about now the planning and the entire process, I would say, but the implementation is very important. How you go implement what is inside the budget? What the government don't say, I don't put inside this budget, say this year, that this money I will raise and this money I will spend. How government will raise the money? Is the process transparent? How government will spend the money? Is the process transparent? What about what the government intend to achieve? Are they achieving it? You understand? So we do that assessment there and engage on how the process they go in terms of the budget implementation.
All right. Every year we see the Ministry of Finance always starts the budget hearing. Waiting at the whole owner can play in all of that, because we can see plenty here, so the non-state actors always there for put the MDAs on their toes.
Exactly. Part of the requirements, or by law, the Ministry of Finance they send invitation to CSOs, non-state actors, for me to be part of the budget hearing. You understand? Because it's supposed to be participatory. When they come, when they listen, when they ask questions. You understand?
Yes.
So from the point of issuing a budget circular, where Ministry of Finance they tell the ministry, department, and agencies to put their budgets together. Yes, that's the budget speech.
Yes.
On to the point of putting the budget document together, on to the presentation of the budget to Parliament. You understand? We CSUs they do engagements throughout. We engage for ensure government prioritize what we call gender responsive budgeting. How the budget will cater for gender empowerment. You understand? For how the budget will cater for youth empowerment. How the budget will strengthen the health system. So we do the engagements they for my government prioritize their expenditure into the different ministries.
Alright. Now, one very important thing. I don't know if Atata will receive the allocation on time, because the thing we very challenging at that they can go put the budget together, go to Parliament, read every allocation to the MDAs then. But you see some MDA, they need to receive the money maybe after the 3rd quarter, and then we get 1st quarter money. How do they monitor that even make sure that, because all that boils down to effective delivery. Because if you don't give MDA money early, I want for like doing work, I want for implement a project there. That's so which one are they do for monitor, make sure say when I put government on their toes, let them make sure say if they don't say that they allocate 5 billion to Ministry of Youth or the Youth Commission, they make sure say that money they are available as quickly as possible. Not a way after we don't reach 3rd quarter and get them 1st quarter.
Thank you very much. That is a very serious challenge where the ministry, department, and agencies that they face every year. It's a very serious challenge. Governments are aware of that, because we don't engage the Ministry of Finance on that. It's a key challenge. It's a very key challenge.
Because
because for instance, 2024, government allocate 17 million to the Ministry of Youth. That is abysmal. That is extremely small. If you take youth employment as one of the key program by you 5 key game changers, then you allocate the ministry where they anchor youth employment, where they handle, they push that day, you just get the 17 million. It's too small. So government should show great commitment into youth empowerment by first and foremost be very more intentional in the budget allocations, which they allocate to the Ministry of Youth Affairs, and how the ministry will access that money on time. That is also a very serious challenge.
So una they engage.
So we engage.
How effective una engagement?
It's one thing government they always say. They say you don't give what you don't get. You can't give what you don't have. So you got to raise the revenue before you give.
Yes.
You understand? So they will tell you say before you give, you don't forget them first.
Yes.
Remember, say the budget na a plan. Don't say the money don't be. So government don't make the plan. So they raise this money. You understand? So the challenge has always been how government could improve on revenue generation. So that when you increase revenue generation, you go able to give allocations there on time. So it has always been a challenge. They engage government. You understand?
So
Government
then fault at all.
No. I don't say no to the fault.
No, because you say at times the money not the day, not so that the money did and not the give.
No, not. I don't say no to the fault. I cannot just one of the period in the 10 week. Right? You don't give it, you don't get.
Yes.
You understand? But before you make the projections here on which you do this, for example, for the year 2024, you understand? You say you expend 23 billion. You understand? Okay, how you make the projections here? Now, because you don't do your assessment, you know, so you will raise that money there. You understand? But the challenge we will face in terms of policies, we in Africa, including Sierra Leone, we are good in designing policies. We design good policies, but what we are not good at is implementation of those policies. Let's look at the Public Finance Management Act. Good laws. If those laws are fully implemented, revenue generation will increase. You understand? Now, President don't sign the new Finance Act where they increase taxation. No, so. But once he make them pass the new Finance Act, all that because government will increase the revenue so that they will address the many development challenges.
So about 5% per year?
Yes, they want to address the many development challenges. So, because they don't say that they add them tax here, government expects say revenue generation will increase. If you expect say revenue generation will increase, you go for also prioritize how you allocate the revenue here to the key ministries. Where particularly they target that your agenda, where you don't set say you the address. How you allocate them on here, the promptness, how the ministry they will access that money is very important. But a lot of times, government sluggish in that direction. Very sluggish in that direction. You understand? So that we can always urge government. If you don't take the 5 agenda, very key, very important agenda of government, but if you address them with a tangible proofs of development, when it comes to allocation, somebody ministry forget first quarter, you go get second quarter or third quarter. That is the same great recipe for corruption.
Alright, so what is that meaning for development?
It really hinder the development aspiration. It hinder the speed at which development will take place. I listen to the commissioner for the National Youth Commission. In emphasis, always the key partner is UNDP. You understand? The key partner is UNDP. Government for play the bulk of the role, rather than relying on development partners for champion development initiatives that targeting the youth.
Well, I know don't for talk ask it. Maybe you can talk with government.
I tell you. So government in role, all of the role for put up the policy framework for ensuring the thing happen. I mentioned the National Youth Policy. Very good policy. If you read that document on the plans on how the government intend for address the youth question, it's very important. But how do we go about implementing those policies? We need the resources to implement those policies. Those resources are not forthcoming. Even if they are forthcoming, then they go in the directions the way they're not correct. That brings in what we call transparency and accountability in the process. And that is why we in our budget don't design a tool called tracker. Well, again at the inception stage of development, how do we track government interventions for make sure they don't go in the wrong hands? How do we track resources when government allocate for make sure they don't go in the hands of unscrupulous citizens when they will use that they convert that to private use rather than they use that for the intended purpose? You understand? We never develop that tool there because then this is a key challenge. Government go allocate, but even after allocation, how the implementation process they go? It's a key challenge. How do we monitor that process? You understand? How do we monitor that process? The audit and oversight, whether they provide that parliament, the audit, the audit service commission day. How do we value their roles? Would they respect their role? Would they take their important? Would they do what you're supposed to do? What about the existing laws, the Public Finance Management Act, where tell you how you expend money, how you do retirement? What about the Public Procurement Act, where tell you how you procure? Because in that budget, most of the expenditure, over 50% is procurement related. So a lot of times, what is the problem? It's we need to uphold transparency and accountability in the implementation of the budget.
When you go to budget hearing, because of course maybe they cover budget hearing for years, you go see MDA come in making presentation, and they go tell you say they get ceiling.
Yes.
Certain side of them for reach or them for pass.
Yes.
You understand? You believe say government in relation to the ceiling, it make people able for do waiting and for do because people maybe you say the ceiling at 30 billion only. Sometimes the mining project to one for do now over 40 billion, but you don't limit them to that particular. And then I saw I talk to somebody from the National Disaster Management Agency. I think the ceiling be so small. I ask her, say, now this budget, no, you say they get ceiling. Now say, why government not invest in disaster management that much? Because disaster, we all know waiting on the apple for the past months. That's a unit camper, our hosting the for them and all that stuff. So how do they limit MDAs their activities?
It limits it comes seriously because the development needs of this country plenty. Every ministry, every department, every agency, the money we need plenty for implement all the development plans, programs that we then get. But at the same time, government go say resources not there. So if I don't provide ceilings, no problem.
So everybody could just
do. So government will provide ceilings. Say okay, this now within this framework if operate. It is not a good process. You understand it? But government is compelled to do so because of limited resources. That you can always see. You understand it? What we concerned about now, even with that limited resources, what we talk about, government they provide them quick. Even with that limited resources, government provide them. What about the process for implementer? Is the process transparent? How did you do about and carry out those processes? Because development and gradual process. It's a sustained elevation towards the attainment of a better life. You understand? It's gradual. It go small, but it should be sustainable. When you achieve today, maintain them. You achieve the other one, you maintain them. Not achieve today, then the other thing, instead of taking the next step, you come backward. That is unsustainable mode of engagement.
But what's not the whole way, even the MDAs then for play or make sure say, because most of the time they will tell you say MDA not they retire, MDAs not the MDAs then they're not the accounts on time, because if you add the audit report, it will tell you say Boku MDAs then they misuse money or Boku MDAs then not they implement, but they need to get accounts for that particular money.
That is where we always have problem. You understand? Because if we take the audit report seriously, a lot of good things will happen in this country. If we take auditors there, from parliament, from the audit service, if we take them seriously, and if they do the work diligently, a lot of things will happen way effective for this country, way good for this country. But a lot of times, those one that they put in place for implement, as I always mention, for implement the policy, now they challenge them. So a lot of times, even institutions, the way they implement their policies, they politicize them. It's a key problem in this country. The over politicization of state institutions is a key problem. You understand? And this is not only for this government. That has been the problem, and that's perennial, and that need to kill me. How do we ensure independent state institutions perform the role independently without government interference? How do we ensure the audit service value perform the role of providing audit and oversight without government interference? How do we ensure if people falter? How do we hold them to account like that corruption commission? How do we ensure they carry the role without interference? And if a particular ministry, a particular public officer, for when the dog have public money to implement a project, and decide to go do otherwise, then after that they come back for come manipulate the system for me them pardon them. That is the things that is happening.
Okay, Friday the minister left for present the budget.
Yes, sir.
And parliament. You know for the day?
Yes, of course. We go for the day, but we will not get a big role for play in the budget speech. We will only see the policy document minister the presenter, but there are policy documents which minister don't present, parliament don't debate them, president don't approve, it don't become law. There are policy documents they now will use for carry out real work in terms of analyzing it, in terms of doing engagement, in terms of following through the implementation of that policy document.
Because the other thing is that we government can do allocate the money.
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, if they forgive 30 billion, then at the end of the day, they give 15 billion, then the year done. They not they give the balance money again.
That has been a challenge where I can see when you look at the challenges in the budget. The challenges in the budget process.
No, plenty things.
No. When you look at the challenges in the budget process, the end of the day, one of the key challenges is lack of public participation in the budget. I go at the budget hearing. Somebody will present the Ministry of Health budget. That will be 2003.
Okay.
The Ministry of the 2004 budget. So they will present 2024 budget. They will present 2023.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Health budget will be the presenter. Critical area they were so get concerned about, like allocation for overseas medical expenditure. Whether the only budget line that the ministry exceed
for
government officers, and the problem is how them government officers they access that budget line, and that was the only budget line where exceed over 200%. They allocate 2 billion. What was expended was over 29 billion. So my question was, why are the only budget line that way the ministry exceed? And the ministry was saying this budget line we everyone made it at the ministry because we don't get control over it.
And it's so ironical, the Ministry of Health go for overseas medical treatment.
Yes. You go for overseas people that were capable, we get the opportunity for use their own personal resources for medical services. Then they use overseas medical funds for people who not get whether for that lady. Public officers they will able to support themselves, whether for that lady, they not able to support themselves. And then in that same year, at the count over 7 people let me know when die from sickness system, when they work for government. One such person is one farmer Takamara will work as correctional service officer. Is sick, he need only $5,000 for going to Ghana. They not provide that money till he die. The process they on. I go visit the lady in the hospital. He say when the paper friend do the process for me, then give me that money day for Mango. The process they until the lady die. The process not conclude. Meanwhile, other people are doing the access that what they're not supposed for access.
Okay.
So in that particular budget hearing, I raised my hand for ask questions. The time when they allocate to the process is small. So time not there for me, they receive questions from everybody. So that is the key challenge in the budget process. The time when they allocate to budget hearing is small. So you want to ask critical questions, you know they will ask. Because time not there. Because the hands are plenty. Not to say deliberate say this man was a may not ask now. No. Because the hands were very plenty, they don't even know who that for therefore say okay you next.
No.
Time not be there. So the time when they allocate to the budget hearing process is so small. We always they say that time the government for Ministry of
Okay, when
Finance.
I continue for do it me from budget, I have to come to the commissioner. Commissioner, waiting on a ceiling. Waiting on a ceiling. Waiting on present to the ministry for this year's financial.
It's in a public document, so we can know what's up and by Friday. And but before this time, of course, we're going to challenges them. We got to know the economy of the country. It has been a very small budget. But I must state that in the 2024-25 budget presented under new leadership now, there is some drastic improvement. And hope and pray that the allocations based on quotas, like we say, are being funded as expected. So that because we grapple with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
We need to be there necessarily what we were known people for smoking or marijuana. And now we don't see how good as an take cushion at different levels. And with the marijuana, we tell say no guy. I mean when these are no guys, when you go to them you get to use to their language. You know, and we don't see the different substances we don't come with the cost trouble right now from near you. So we've told them that law will not go to a budget allocation. They will say this plan will be not last year, will not be here. No, we cannot be here because the changes are coming.
Yes.
I'm very impressed seeing very young boys in the studio fixing cameras or so. Before this time, we're going to be good traditional media and SLBC, and you know now, you know now people are learning, you know, and even the interventions, the way the technology don't play to me so much. The way you picking the Bluetooth some functions and the way you not ever get time for going Sabia. So we we are having imagine issues. So It's a public document when available. When I go know exactly what they assign, I will tell you say there's 100% increase. You know, with respect to which is the Blangui in the previous year. So we hope and pray that government gets the required resources for the necessary funding. You know, so that at the end of the day we will be able to do the work we
as you mentioned, do the work. Don't talk about some of the things they won already done they do inside the past 1 year. We know the other things then we don't mention it.
Yeah, we can tell now you don't see before this time we need to be there for youth related issues. It used to be well, the legacy will meet like from the period of the NC Triple, the DRBs and all the rest of it. It used to be grant and soap making, you know, and all the rest of it as part of their own vocational trainings. We don't see now say the emerging issues now where they come is ICT, you know, technology, innovation. We don't see the aspect of renewable energy. You don't see now young people tell you after every don't get 4 degrees, they go do cinematography or cosmetology, you do pastry and all of that. So we don't begin the focus. We direct back with position from to some of the areas in there. But how do we want to do this one is that we don't see say because of the clear that government not going to employ a citizens then we need a private intervention. They will also need young people themselves when they will create a job for themselves rather for become job seekers. If you follow up on the minister as that we did for yesterday when himself and the chief minister have been there sorry, Tom Colley, he said they give grants. Now we have realized that it's difficult for young people from the access fund. Now most of even the microfinance institutions or even our traditional banking system. So now instead of giving them loans, and those loans have made many to run away from their communities because somebody will take from Lapo, they don't go take 10,000. By the time they will pay that money, then they go don't go back, they don't take, or they don't go to Oya. So all those things are really making them for not able to do some urbanization or some they will go in the heights, some go to neighboring countries. So we don't now see, it doesn't matter who side and they. Now this one, about 264 of them, we follow up on the minister on Facebook yesterday. And as we speak, also again yesterday we finalized conversation with UNFPA for another 400 young persons that will for be again beneficiaries. We back get the World Bank project. I don't say we're going to get but the PSS NYE, we are the Productive Social Safety Net and Youth Empowerment, where it predicates on the success story from the SSM project during the COVID period. And also it's a Ministry of Leadership money, ranging from 2,000 to 10,000 based on how COVID will affect young people and the businesses. That was one of the things where we so much transparent, where we really able to do with all of the stakeholders there. It was an open thing at the National Stadium posters that pack they received. It was crowded for several weeks when we make announcements and then they come in and do the marching and some they tell you say they say charcoal because of the inter-district lockdown, we go again that money they will be go now trust we go trust them, we don't pour this, that. So they have some compelling stories where make some the beneficiary of that particular thing. So what banks say the money reached not only the aged, the money went to young people, it went to persons living with disability, then they don't bring in now the productive component of it. We come inside from the social safety net to the productive social safety net and youth empowerment, from which they don't give about $6 million or for give direct cash transfer to young people, about 8,000 of them across Sierra Leone. We have 2,000 from Freetown, 1,500 in Bombali, 1,500 in Bo, 1,500 in Kenema, 1,500 in Port Loko. So we are going to give them that amount of money very shortly. As we speak now, we're at the final stage of the recruitment of the service provider. We will have about 15 of them. Now we are left with 6. They do on the financial and technical proposal. We're on the 19th of this month they done. The bank for Kaya next month, December. So one before the bank they can go recruit the service provider who they do through NAXA, and then at the financial agency, because the money in totality is about $45–46 million, for which different MDAs that they give. Ministry of Labour, Anti-Corruption Commission, National Youth Commission, Ministry of Youth, and NAXA, and then at the agency will hold this money. We just can write based on the activities they do. So when that has been done, we give young people them into household-led businesses. You get them, we honor this horse. Now for you, you get that particular money there. it will be a very good thing. And when we have that, about 8,000 is going to be a very serious thing. You follow up on Ministry of Labour, they are currently in the provinces and they share this money to the aged. I don't know if you're following up on the activities, but that is being done for the past 1 month. NACSA is doing the same thing. So, I mean, we are getting there gradually.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Ahmed Attata Mansari. We are the Commissioner, National Youth Commission. Don't forget to see watch and listen to Two Talk Morning Show on Two Talk Radio 98.5 FM. And also now we Facebook page Two Talk FM. You also the watch we our YouTube channel. Mina Ishmael Said, we can go for the short video. Two Talk Radio 98.5 FM. We also get on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Well, the commissioner will talk about the direct cash transfer when they do about $6 million. We need somebody $6 million. It's not money. Now, how do they do the selection? Because you get some people and will just say, well, I put this person, I put this person.
No, you don't have a hand in that.
Okay.
And if you look at the project itself, we better would talk about it now. I mean, it's good that we never don't add to the number of institutions that really do the advocacy and for making young people and the people of Sierra Leone know of this. In the first place, they can't give the premise. The project itself, now from a small project where government of Sierra Leone through NACSA we don't do implementation on. When that be the SSN project, then are the social safety nets. Sierra Leone is the only country where COVID hits we and government transfer cash directly to the citizens. So World Bank we see and say this is a novelty, and the success story of that project then lead to the second phase where we don't count the youth environment component of it now. And doing that, we also do not cater only for young people within the country. We also cater also for government cater for the aged. When from there you see we get NACSA and that of Ministry of Labour, where they give them pensioners. They are all over. I mean, they've been giving updates, you know. So we don't focus now. We focus on 40% of girls, 40% of boys, and then 20% of persons living with disability. So we are covering. That is the easy way to do. We stakeholders engagement, with media engagement, and all the rest of it. With the Drought National Commission on Persons Living with Disability and a lot of other stakeholders, the Anti-Corruption Commission, because the project itself covers for the grievance redress mechanism components, and for which there is a staff there already, and anti-corruption is very centered in that. This is not my target as a commissioner. Now, the total amount of money in all of this World Bank that we took to Sierra Leone government is 46 million. They don't tell you, say, when this becomes a success like the very first one, there is likelihood that we can make it 100 million. Who does not want that? And this project is to be implemented from 2023 to 2027. I mean, and all of these are young Sierra Leoneans who have been able to be recruited from where serve as staff in this project. After that 2027, they don't have job. I always throw challenges to them. Do you still want to wish to apply for vacancies advertised? You have already, and this is the kind of assignment we have been given. Let's get this correct. We were there when the team came last, when the World Bank team came to Sierra Leone. All those who successfully implemented the SSN project, they added their salaries for a job well done. And they were also even maintained into the current project. I said, I want that same thing to happen. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that I should be commissioner, but it has to mean that I was there as commissioner when this project was implemented, and this was my success story. And that is a very good thing. You ask how they do the selection. That is the more reason we want to make it as transparent as the way it should be. You don't need to know me to get it.
Mhm.
That is the easy way of recruiting service providers, and the service providers will have it as we speak now. We even will have one institution from Venice in Italy that competed. That was how serious this job is. But we had another company also in Accra. In fact, they are in the second stage now as we speak. So you have a lot of other organizations in Sierra Leone where, they're part of the bidding process, the EOIs. They've done it and all the rest of it, and they have shown credibility and also again a kind of a background to have implemented similar to young people across. This is not a new thing. It is new in this scale, but then, like my brother will say, for the putting documents together in Sierra Leone, we're very good at it. But when it comes to implementation, that is where the problem is. And this one now is going to be an ego. I will only go for what you said. Remember, the civil society organizations are equally watching, and they are saying anti-corruption is there. They are saying. So we do not want. We know young persons in business. Of course, somebody for just did it. Either somebody go say, "But sorry, now we be don't make. I'm not green. I'm making not give me."
Exactly.
Or that man go give family and village. All of those things. That is the reason we are going to have a whole unit addressing some of those things. Now make anti-corruption not open the line for some other issues. And me as commissioner, the service providers, I am not. I know this is companies now going for the final stage, but I don't know individuals there. When the bank would not agree with the procurement experts, they all would not agree on whether I will sign contract. That will be the time I will interface the two institutions. We'll go relay for DW because we are going to have one from the south and east. Then we are going to have one that will cover the west and that of the northern part of Sierra Leone. So these institutions that we open now, we are now for CC. This is how it should go. This is how the registration must go. And we know technical knockout for the party business. It's a very simple thing. Salomon, not going to sit down for 2-3 weeks for the trainer from morning until 3 or 4 o'clock. They will count today when they count tomorrow. We are going to have elimination strategies. So, but when that time comes, we'll come back again and tell young people what are the criteria, what you will make it qualify, and all the rest of it. And we're going to look at our money is going to be given to every young person who qualify for. Just I'm not to give money for go sell drugs. We don't give money for let go sell charcoal. Okay, we don't give money for let go do timber logging. But any other thing you want to do, if you want to say you want to do online digital platform like what these young guys are now doing, they have it should be for somebody who've established a business or who has an intention of having one.
Okay, so who's changed after 2020? Who's changed on our one for after the implementation?
We work for a very serious one like Canvas also with the speed. That reminds me of another support way we don't get before with colleagues and the previous commissioners that we don't get from the African Development Bank. But we get this project where we call the youth project, youth empowerment program where they don't do some implementations and not knowing that those data as well we don't give to the institutions. They be done the carry the follow up on those addresses. Those young people will do some businesses with them. At the end of the day, they were very impressed, and the bank has also get approved for them to come for the second phase of that project. So nobody not go one for implement a project of this nature. For example, you don't go give address say 49H South Drive. The car you get they don't meet you there. There could be a trace. It could not be your house. It could be that you have moved or your business has moved to something else. But they could be able to trace it from this address to another address. So we're going to ensure that monitoring and evaluation is one thing. That is the reason we're not coming to learn anyway to do business. It just come because of Isabi commissioner or Isabi the M&E or Isabi the programs manager and the commission, or you relate to the minister. We're going to be very thorough in that because we've had our own benchmarks as well. We agree some few shortcomings go there, but trust me, it's going to be very holistic. That will be very thorough. That one we are very serious about it, and that will go for the would-be service providers. For me, they go by waiting the project implementation manual, the top, the PIM, and the pad. Don't go anything extra or else me I go deny possible capital deny Jesus. So that one we are very serious about it, and they are promised us to deliver once we cross that particular bridge.
Alright, some people will always say government is say they provide 1,000 jobs, as you say earlier, 2,000 jobs, but they know they see and figures and normal. What you say about that?
No,
what you know they do as commission?
What government tell you say they don't give, or institution not tell you say they don't give 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 young people support. You ask for the data. Yesterday, when the Honourable Minister of Youth Affairs then go launch the grant. Or you or no, so you don't read it because now where I see a post now I get call from this radio station say the minister give them a contact, say made a contact for Canton on behalf of the sector. That is just one out of the many. Do you know how that man was scolded on social media? They say now because they come out on holiday, they make a go give grant to Tom Holiday. So when somebody called me on the phone, now I say, what happens 2 months ago when we gave 400 of those to young people again free time? I've made several interventions in this particular place. Nobody has ever asked, why is it the minister just give Naton Kolili and a give to Bonf? It has become an anthem. I said, the number in fact there is so simple. 264 is a small number. Now we have another 6,000 to 7,000 is supposed to give again very shortly with UNFP to young entrepreneurs. He has been advertising that before ever because they like this one was given by IDHA. You know, that's what we do. We normally do not even know the institution they give them into they get the criteria them back. That is one thing we could fail for realize. They do their mentorship, their coaching, they do their assessment and they agree. We all know there is that Syrians are going to be beneficiaries. And we can tell and say not to go for because part of the money we already give, like this one. Do you know that people were even in the hall at Manatee 1 who still never believed that that money was going to hit them? They failed to realize that we've already set the system. Now, Roka Commercial Bank go the money being they say motor card no. So they are all like apprehensive. I would money the car and like they just want to come park here, this, that. So after they have called them from different chiefdoms in Tokolili district, they don't park after the chief minister don't run, they don't do everything. It became like all my phone they ring way that the SIM couple, Roka SIM couple, the home they get alerts. They place lights. So that was just it. Nobody believed it was going to happen. So that kind of things.
Alright, so we'll come back to you, Commissioner Atata. That come to me good friend from budget, Mr. Sise. Waiting on they do now because after the minister will not read the budget on Friday. They get for the budget allocation, they get for going to parliament, they get for dividing into various groups them for make sure say una self give una your inputs. How the process and they can happen and how una can participate in them.
You know, the budget hearing, the budget speech now is a very important event, policy event, we important for this country because without the budget, nothing will happen in 2025 in terms of government expenditure, in terms of revenue. It is only the budget and the guarantee government for go ahead and allocate resources. So if see that budget not come into place, parliament not debate, president not sign now, that's where they come on in terms of funds to any ministry, department, or agency of government. But in the process, we get targeted advocacies that we do within the whole of parliament. Let me now we get what we call the civil society and parliament desk. Parliament.
CSO desk.
CSO desk in parliament. This is our honor for ensure CSO they part of the process, the parliamentary process. You understand? So challenges a day. Yeah, but we can always ensure say we do with key advocacies. For example, we in the budget believe say the budget for cater for women empowerment. So the budget should be what we call gender responsive. People are not going to understand whether they can say gender responsive. Say when they talk for women, they're too much. That is not the case. You understand? Those that have been historically marginalized, if you begin to talk for them now, for men, they get support. You understand? It's positive, they call them positive marginalization. Now you favor them against the others. You understand? So now we could advocate for gender responsibility. So when they say inside this budget here, you know, inside this budget here, like when you cook, like when they say prepare jollof.
Yes.
Somebody don't go prepare this jollof, they prepare for plenty people in the house. Somebody they will have a woman. You understand? Somebody they will disabled. You understand? When you prepare that jollof, that person will come meet you with you at the table if you disabled. You have to take the food, you go meet her. Say, okay, me must serve you because you know you work. That one already on that parameter, you go say, I don't want boku pepper. So you see, if you make the jollof, you got to take time and adjust. Now you don't put boku pepper. So those are the kind of adjustments that we advocate for in the budget. So in as much as we get development needs them, we also target allocations the way to go towards gender. Allocation will go towards climate resilient investments. We talk about disaster management. These are all targeted advocacies what they do. My government take them very important.
Employment.
You understand? Employment is very key. Youth employment. Where now the third agenda by the big 5 game changers, the third one, it's very important. Government says they create 500,000 youths jobs for the youths. So it means every year, if I begin see proof, if you will get 100,000 youths, we don't get employment. You understand? So how do they ensure say you do the allocations today for men to be able to achieve?
You mentioned say 17 billion only.
Exactly. No, yeah, these are the things. We make sure say government increase the allocation to youth-related activities, to the Ministry of Youth, youth agencies, and any organization where you deal with youth-related activities. You take the important. You are very intentional about it. You show commitment by the allocations the way they make. Not for talk no more. From the allocation, I know they say, yeah, government, not only lip service, they really show commitment. Now, allocator now, then ensure say, Ali, disbursement. We have a very big problem. Because they allocate them money here, but how do they disburse them? Is it Ali? Is it responsive? At the right time, would they do it? You understand? After we don't disburse, how they go about for implementing? The ministry, 110, some Ministry of Visa, they say, the money they can't quick. So at times they need to not even get some debts for pay. So the money they can emit whole. So even when you want to trace how that implement it, it's difficult for trace because the money they can't quick. When you want to trace, I say, but you don't got to tell the money don't meet whole. Then you can see who's how they spend the money. Who's how you see because the money meets whole. So early allocation, prompt allocation is very, very important for more begin see tangible proofs of development. Tangible proof. Because if you know allocate money early, that MDA, you don't cripple for many people carry out a policy agenda for that particular year.
Situation when the MDA no gets allocation at all for a year.
It can happen, yes.
Strange.
It can happen, but it can be. But most times they can get na small like small. Na car in the car on time.
Yes.
You understand? Na car in the car on time. Also, we see the commissioner talk about lobbying. It's very important. Lobbying is not a crime. What's bad for lobbying? The way you bribe.
Yeah.
You understand? For me, you get favor. But for go, you meet, you join people always submit. Say, "Una put this thing for me. Where I get this allocation, it's not a crime." You understand?
But some man just sit on the office, they wait for the allocation.
They wait for the allocation. They need to make efforts. So those efforts need to be exerted. But after the allocation, how the implementation process they go? Then they follow the laws. My brother, the laws don't get in this country. If we follow her, if we implement her, we see development.
Right.
Take time to read the Public Finance Management Act. In fact, this new one, you know, say the new one, they can strengthen the old one. This new one is strengthening the old one. You understand? Look at the Public Procurement Act. Look at that beautiful laws they did and see if in the implementation of those laws, if they do one. Are they doing it? Are they the procurement methodologies? So they follow up. So the problem is in the implementation of those beautiful laws.
So UNA as budgets, they also monitor MDs, how then they use the resources for government taking it.
We monitor, although there are limitations, because you monitor what you know. When you have the data, we are very good in data.
We not get like any MOU like.
We get MOU with
like Tuna go they work with.
No, we get MOU with few ministries. Okay. You understand? We get MOU with few ministries. For example, the Ministry of Justice, we get MOU with them. You understand it? We get service level agreement also with the Ministry of Justice. So basically, what would they say? In all of this, with the monitor, but there are limitations, then we monitor it. Because information, now when you know, information is power, data is power. When you need data, when you go analyze data, now which is available now to you. So then we could always tell the Ministry of Finance, publish down the allocations here now on the website. I don't need to go and log and push for more than any documents say that this should allocate. Publish all allocations. How do they do the allocation? Publish it on the website. So as I go there, I click up, I say, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and this money do not give them on this and this and this and this. That's a minister to approach the ministry and say, this money we don't give them, how far? We say we don't put up. But the capital project, when government say they implement, how far we don't go about that? Because capital project is simple for track. Because it's tangible, physical, you see. You understand? 2024, the money government allocates to capital project is so small. You understand? It's so small. Out of 23 billion when I expenditure, now only 7 billion, less than 30%, then go to capital expenditure. And capital expenditure, then they build infrastructure, where they call development. But if government allocates small amounts to capital expenditure, then they show commitment on the side of government. You understand? Because the national budget, my brother, make no mistake.
So government,
I don't read it the 2025 year,
okay,
but the 2024 budget and the previous budget, when you look at that, 70% of that budget will go into recurrent expenditure.
so government still dey give that 22% to education, but them they don't bring and on. Because so them they prioritize education, them they give 21 or
20%. 20, yes, 20%.
Yeah.
Then they allocate to education.
21.
Capital development, yes, 21%.
Okay. They still dey give that day.
And that's so it's supposed to be. But then you therefore only go to the ministry and see what's the real, because you get allocation on paper and the real allocation, the one you don't meet them if you actually reach 20%. Because as I tell you, the last budget, government allocates up to 11% to Ministry of Health. But they will tell you that only 7% will receive. Government will allocate 20-21% to Ministry of Education. But what's that the real money they receive? They reach 21%? Those are the questions you need to ask. The real money, the real allocation, the real one, in which the amount of government be allocated that the book.
All that thing way I want bring to your attention, I don't know. Where Leon Stars can always go play. The ministry always go to Ministry of Finance for work for money. The woman they even get now that they not be able to give them money, they go trust money. And government not pay itself the last games they were go play na Ivory Coast and Liberia and lost to Ivory Coast 4-1 and can beat Ivory Coast 1-0 na Liberia. And Sierra they play tomorrow. And never play tomorrow. Then we don't go yesterday na they reach na Ivory Coast, then they play Chad. And then they come back for can play na Liberia next week Tuesday. Then they can play Zambia. Na the last 2 Nations Cup matches then for let them qualify. Then always they go maybe like 3, 4, 5 days for let them travel. And go to the Ministry of Finance for money. How why it forbid that way?
Enough for really be so. Enough for really be so. Because when you look at the national youth policy, they tell you say sport one of the key intervention areas the way we improve, we go increase youth empowerment. Sport is very important. It empower a lot of youths.
Yes.
You understand? If you don't say you empower youths, then you need to prioritize allocation to those sectors the way they drive youth activities. How you go wait till and then the Ministry of Sport or the Salon Football Association, they don't forget to the 11th hour. I don't really know what can happen.
I mean, if you say any factor for the factor, all anything in the budget,
it is in the budget. It is there. Okay. The problem is the allocation become very slow. Accessibility, accessing the funds is very slow. Government is slow for give the funds, so accessibility very slow generally. That is the problem, and that is something government for actually try for handle. That is something government for show commitment, and that is something Ministry of Finance. All the government in this case we count to money. The Ministry of Finance for prioritize, not to team for pay lip service to. Yes, we know the development needs them plenty, but certain key sectors the way for really take serious and prioritize and give them the money quick so that they will prepare early and get the success with them.
Why am I continue for the we now come to the commissioner? We have about 6 minutes for that public program. Commissioner, as Brahma mentioned, one of the big 5 changes that youth development and youth employment. Yes,
Pillar 3.
Exactly, Pillar 3. Which thing they happen now going forward for make sure so we are able to achieve than they before 2028?
Yes, in fact, the advantage we get is that by the fact that in all of the 5 pillars, ranging from the number 1 and the fiscal, labor, capital development, and all the rest of it, there is none that can really take place without proper utilization of the effort of young people. And we don't try to see how we go able for getting young persons across, ranging from those who've got formal education, those ones who are in skills development, the ones that don't take into entrepreneurship, and those ones into the realm of innovation and technology. So all the multiple approaches in the and because of the growing concerns for feeding Sierra Leone. We don't try for re-diet and reposition women because quite a lot of young people in the way will tell you say, for money don't call it, I just sit down. And we have those who really will have that energy, you know, for when they're able to go into farming, but they lack the capital. They cannot just jump into farming. Okay, you go for before an apprentice, you go for learn something. So even on the day where they launch the African Youth Day celebration on the 1st of this month, this is the minister make a policy statement that we have already gone ahead to get funding from we partners and foresee how we will take the attention of young people to a whole lot of things, a whole lot of challenges on them, but to farming. You could get your farm. Say for example, you're into poultry or you're into fish farming, like the minister. For now, you know there is nobody in Sierra Leone who is a fish farmer in Sierra Leone as compared to the minister. His market is really beyond Sierra Leone now. Now he's exporting catfish and tilapia. You can check on the Facebook and check on Green Adventures. You will see that he's one of the biggest for now. He has all of that, and then you will be able to know, say, even for getting dogs, gets for, you know, goats, sheep, you know, say these things are really giving money. You go to even the one that I have myself in Falaba, I started off with just 7. And if I show you my figure, you will soon, you know. But these are things where we don't know about. Somebody was sharing her story with me, a lady of 23, 24, where he got about 10 to 50 acres of land of planting. She took me there whilst I was in Makeni, because last week or throughout the week I was with the International Labour Organization for us to see how we will do some innovation on some value chain addition to vegetables. Talk about palm kernel, and talk about cassava in Bo, Potluck, Bombali, and Kenema. So we'll be there for talking about the 2025 agenda and the activities that we're there for do. So, like I say, the approaches, diverse approach now we get, and the same we try for also impress on we partners then, and all youth serving agencies. We talk about a service level agreement, and that is one thing we are very serious about now. And as much as you want for we get support from international partners, or you want for get support from the government, you will say you work at the space. We'll therefore do it, achieving all of these promises where government don't make. You therefore be in line with your line ministry, and nothing can let us sign your document if you don't have a service level agreement with us. A few days ago, one organization they do it, young people mental health and for they get their office na Hagans 22 Hagans or so. I was seated in one function outside office. Then I received an email from a certain organization in Accra. We want to give support to them, but they wanted to first know if they are registered with the National Youth Commission. 2, let us quote their number. 3, let us quote their year of registration, and blah 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 and all the rest of it. So I just put the youth empowerment officer in copy, Jamila. I said, go, are you in the office? She said, I said, check the files for all the registered organizations. Check for me this organization. Fortunately, she knows the people in charge. Then she told me, Commissioner, these people have registered with us since December last year. But we law provides say we dey less than 1 year will not give you opportunity for external funding. But they are not Sierra Leoneans. What do we do if somebody else want to give money to your home? I mean, just do something at praise, but call them and warn them, because the problem we have, they have multiple research organizations doing some implementation that is really good, but they are not registered with the commission. So those are the things we want to do. I see you guys back on in taking more time. Thank you so much for having me.
So message you have for left with the youths them?
The message we get here is that because of waiting, if we say we don't, they happen to you, don't make it all lost hope. They encourage every other young person from making all lose hope. That will all keep the fire burning, and let us tap into every other opportunity where government or other institutions they talk about. The problem we have with many of them is that they have this denial tendency. Now, if we talk about the productive social safety net, just we'll go for Kaige for tell and say the training is available, the criteria have been set, the forms are available. I know they go there, but you don't already get the one except for they go for go fee.
Exactly.
So that aspect is one thing many have lost. Like the youth service, you know of our Onana there as executive director. Young people will apply because technology don't make it so simple. When we used to have the forms, they used to come and take it, but it was a bit burdensome on them. So we decided for them to do online. And online, we do, they go give feedback. Either they say thanks or congratulations, or we see all those complimentary statements. Some not they will tell because they will not say interview, they will not come. The reason being, they think after they have graduated for 1 or 2 years, you are coming to ask them questions on their subject that they have studied, for which that is not the point. So when they come to you don't come, you don't go now. When they call them, hey, sorry, you don't go for that thing. How is it? They just ask me self for my certificate, this, that, give them photocopy. And that's time. But before you start, they'll be texting or calling to say me, and you know where an able come or an don't get broke down. Some of those things. Young people don't want to explore, and let us begin to explore. Trust me, mark what I say. If you want to get any employment of anybody in this place, put a method and apply online. The number of applications will be limited. I've just tried it for a very serious project we are getting at the commission for a World Bank project that needed somebody with social sciences. Out of the hundreds of jobless aliens in this country, now only 6 applied. 6 because it was an online application. They don't want that one. They don't try targets. So we want to encourage them for them to be challenging, trying that. You know, we don't bash at the universities because they're not giving out the first class degrees and the second class. But when you go to Ghana, you go to Kenya, you go to Rwanda, you meet young Ghanaians or whatever, also Nigerians. They have thousands of first class degrees. That is the reason they don't take over in most of the international organizations. So if we are bashing at our institutions here, spaces have been open to young people. Nobody knew about Limco. It used to be traditional media being taught at mass communications at Fairview College. But now what is being taught at Lincoln has made even the Fairview College and other institutions to come up. Central University has thrown a challenge. Cyber security, they are studying it, which is a novelty in our education system. So those are the things, and this is how the world is moving. Let us gravitate towards those interventions that people are making for us.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Sise, which you are for left foot with.
Thank you very much. What me will say that all of these for cater for the youths, we go for ensure there is fairness in the process. We go for ensure equitability. The process is done fairly. It not will be equal, but let that be that